Be prepared. Tomorrow, April 16th, isn't just another day on the calendar. While most people will wake up, scroll through their phones, and move through their routines completely unaware, something rare is happening in the sky. A cosmic alignment so precise, so potent, that it only occurs a handful of times in a lifetime. And here's what nobody is telling you. This isn't just an astrological event. This is a portal, a window of time where hidden power becomes accessible, where years of struggle can transform into sudden breakthrough, and where the impossible becomes inevitable. Tomorrow, Mars in Aries forms a perfect sextile with Pluto in Aquarius, creating a rare geometric alignment that unlocks something dormant inside you. But there's something critical about this portal that almost everyone is missing, and if you don't understand it, you could watch this opportunity slip right through your fingers. I'll reveal exactly what that is later in this video, so make sure you stay until the end, because right now you're standing at a threshold and tomorrow everything shifts. This portal has been building for weeks. If you've been feeling restless lately, like something's about to break open, you're not imagining it. The entire month of April has been building to this exact moment. 7 planets crowding into the sign of Aries: the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron, all pushing forward, all demanding action, all refusing to let you stay small any longer. And tomorrow, all of that concentrated fire reaches a breaking point. Mars, the warrior planet, the force of pure will and action, sits in its home sign of Aries, operating at full strength. And it's reaching across the sky to shake hands with Pluto in Aquarius, the planet of death, rebirth, and total transformation. When these two forces connect, something unprecedented happens. The raw courage and instinct of Mars merges seamlessly with the deep, evolutionary power of Pluto. And unlike the violent, destructive energy of a Mars-Pluto clash, this is a sextile, a harmonious aspect that requires one thing from you: action. This isn't passive energy. This isn't something that happens to you. This is a door opening, but you have to walk through it. And when you do, you unlock power you didn't even know you had access to. The triple activation nobody sees coming. Here's where it gets even more intense. The Mars-Pluto alignment isn't happening in isolation. Tomorrow, 3 major cosmic events converge within just 11 hours, creating a triple activation that most astrologers aren't even talking about. First, at 11:10 in the morning, the Sun conjoins Chiron, the wounded healer. This is the moment where your deepest insecurities, your oldest wounds around self-worth and identity, get dragged into the light. It's uncomfortable, it's raw, but it's necessary because you can't step into true power while carrying the weight of who you used to be. Then, at 3 in the afternoon, the Mars-Pluto portal perfects. This is the exact moment when the door opens widest, when the strategic, focused energy of Mars locks into alignment with the transformative force of Pluto. This is when hidden power unlocks. And finally, at 10 that night, Mercury conjoins Neptune in Aries. Your rational mind dissolves. Logic gives way to intuition. And suddenly, you're receiving downloads, insights, and visions that your conscious mind could never access on its own. 3 alignments, 1 day, and all of it happening right before the new moon in Aries the very next morning, a cosmic reset button that locks in whatever transformation you initiate tomorrow. This isn't just a good day for manifestation. This is the kind of energy that rewrites timelines. Area 1. You finally win the war inside your mind. For years, maybe even decades, there's been a battle happening inside you. One part of you wants to move forward, to take risks, to claim your power. But another part, the part shaped by fear, by past failures, by the voices of people who told you to play it safe, keeps pulling you back. Tomorrow, that war ends, not because the fear disappears, but because you finally see it for what it is: outdated programming. The Mars-Pluto portal gives you X-ray vision into your own psyche. You'll see exactly where your desires aren't actually yours, where you've been chasing goals to prove something to someone who doesn't even matter anymore. And here's the breakthrough. Pluto in Aquarius is ruthless about exposing societal conditioning. It forces you to ask the hard question, is this what I actually want, or is this what I was told to want? Mars in Aries doesn't have patience for anything that isn't authentic. It burns away the fake ambitions, the people-pleasing, the need for external validation. But this is where the Sun-Chiron conjunction becomes crucial, because as these old patterns dissolve, you're confronted with the wound underneath, the core insecurity that's been driving everything. Maybe it's the fear that you're not enough. Maybe it's the belief that you don't deserve to take up space. Maybe it's the old rejection that convinced you to stay small. Tomorrow, you don't heal that wound by pretending it doesn't exist. You heal it by claiming your power because of it, not in spite of it. Your vulnerability becomes your authority. Your past failures become the proof that you can survive anything. And suddenly, the inner critic that's been running the show loses all its power. This is the first victory, psychological sovereignty. You stop fighting yourself, you stop apologizing for who you are, and you start operating from a place of unshakable self-trust, where no external voice can override what you know to be true. Area 2, you finally win in the material world. The second area of victory is tangible, real, physical. This is where the rubber meets the road, where the internal shift translates into actual, measurable results in your career, your finances, and your life path. Because here's what most people don't understand about Mars-Pluto energy. It doesn't just give you motivation, it gives you endurance. The kind of relentless, unstoppable drive that doesn't quit when things get hard. The kind of strategic focus that can see 10 steps ahead while everyone else is still reacting to what just happened. Mars in Aries wants immediate action. It wants to charge forward, break down doors and claim territory. But Pluto in Aquarius, a fixed sign, anchors that fire to a long-term vision. It's not just about the explosive burst of inspiration. It's about building something that lasts, something that fundamentally changes the structure of your life. Tomorrow is the day to make the bold move you've been putting off. Send the email, demand the promotion, launch the project, walk away from the job that's draining your soul. Because the actions you take tomorrow aren't fleeting impulses. They're foundation stones. And just 3 days later, on April 19th, Mars conjoins Saturn, the planet of discipline and reality. Anything you initiate tomorrow will be stress-tested by Saturn's demands, and only what's built on solid ground will survive. But that's the beauty of this portal. If the power you're claiming is authentic, if it's rooted in the psychological sovereignty you just won, if it's aligned with the visionary downloads from Mercury and Neptune, then Saturn doesn't become an obstacle. It becomes the crucible that turns your breakthrough into mastery. This is structural alchemy. You're not just getting a temporary boost of confidence. You're fundamentally restructuring your relationship with work, with money, with your own creative power. You're transitioning from someone who dreams about success to someone who builds it brick by brick with unshakable discipline. And if you've been feeling like the universe keeps blocking your path, like every door is closed, pay attention, because tomorrow you'll realize those weren't closed doors. They were locked doors. And the Mars-Pluto portal just handed you the key. Area 3. You finally win your freedom from the crowd. The third victory is the most subtle, but it might be the most liberating. This is where you finally untangle yourself from the suffocating grip of other people's expectations, opinions, and demands. Aries is the sign of the sovereign self, the part of you that exists independent of any group, any relationship, any collective. Aquarius is the sign of the collective itself, society, community, networks, and shared visions. When Mars in Aries forms a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius, you're being given a rare gift, the ability to stand fully in your individuality while still contributing to something larger than yourself. For too long, there's been a tension. You want to belong, to be part of a community, to feel connected. But every time you try, you feel like you have to shrink, to edit yourself, to tone down your truth just to keep the peace. Or maybe you've gone the other way. You've isolated yourself completely, refusing to engage with anyone because you're tired of the compromise. Tomorrow, that false dichotomy collapses. You realize you don't have to choose between authenticity and connection. The Mars-Pluto energy shows you exactly who belongs in your life and who's been draining your power. It's not dramatic. It's not emotional. It's just clear. Crystal clear. You'll feel it in your body. Certain people will suddenly feel heavy, dense, like their energy is pulling you down. Others, the ones who resonate with your true frequency, will feel light, easy, aligned. And the Mars in Aries courage gives you the ability to act on that knowing without guilt, without over-explaining, without second-guessing. This is relational autonomy. You stop people-pleasing. You stop contorting yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You set boundaries that are so firm, so unshakable, that people either rise to meet you or they naturally fall away. And paradoxically, that's when your real tribe shows up, the people who don't need you to be anything other than exactly who you are. The Pluto in Aquarius transit is dismantling the old hierarchies, the old power structures, the old ways of belonging. And tomorrow, you're being invited to step into a new paradigm, where your power isn't diminished by community, it's amplified by it, but only if the community is authentic, aligned, and built on truth instead of compromise. The new moon locks it in. And here's what makes tomorrow even more critical. Less than 24 hours after the Mars-Pluto portal peaks, on the morning of April 17th, we have a new moon in Aries at the late degrees, tightly conjunct Chiron. New moons are planting moments. They're when you set intentions, when you declare what's coming next, when you commit to the new path. But this isn't a gentle, passive new moon. This is a baptism by fire. Everything you unlock tomorrow, the psychological sovereignty, the vocational breakthrough, the relational clarity, gets sealed into your reality. The visions you receive from the Mercury-Neptune conjunction, plant them during this new moon. The courage you access through Mars and Pluto, anchor it here. The wound you finally integrated through the Sun-Chiron alignment, let it become your medicine, your offering, your greatest strength. This new moon doesn't give you the luxury of hesitation. It demands commitment. It demands that you burn the boats, close the escape routes, and fully step into the new version of yourself that's been trying to emerge all month. Because the next day, April 19th, everything changes again. The reality check nobody wants to talk about. Remember when I said there's something critical about this portal that most people are missing? This is it. The Mars-Pluto portal on April 16th unlocks incredible power. But on April 19th, Mars conjoins Saturn in Aries, and Saturn doesn't care about your feelings. Saturn is the cosmic reality check. It's the teacher that shows you exactly where your foundation is weak, where your vision is inflated, where you skipped the necessary steps because you were too impatient. When Mars meets Saturn, it's like slamming on the brakes while trying to accelerate. It's frustrating, it's uncomfortable, it can feel like hitting a brick wall. But here's the truth. If the power you accessed on April 16th was real, if it was rooted in authentic healing, strategic action, and aligned vision, then the Mars-Saturn conjunction doesn't destroy it. It fortifies it. Saturn takes the explosive breakthrough and compresses it into lasting discipline. It turns the flash of insight into a sustainable practice. It proves that you're not just riding a wave of inspiration, you're building an empire. This is why the Mercury-Neptune conjunction is both a gift and a danger. Neptune brings visionary downloads, spiritual insights, and intuitive knowing. But Neptune also brings illusion, delusion, and the temptation to act on a fantasy before verifying its structural integrity. If you take action tomorrow based purely on a dream without grounding it in reality, Saturn will expose that on the 19th. So here's the strategy. Use tomorrow to unlock the power, to receive the vision, to claim the courage, but don't rush blindly into execution. The Mars-Pluto sextile is strategic energy, not reckless energy. It's the warrior who plans the battle, not the one who charges in without armor. And when Saturn shows up 3 days later, you'll be ready. You'll have done the work, you'll have built on solid ground, and instead of feeling blocked, you'll feel unstoppable. The symbols are screaming at you. There's a system in astrology called Sabian symbols, 360 images, one for each degree of the zodiac, that reveal the deeper meaning of planetary alignments. The Mars-Pluto sextile tomorrow perfects at 5 degrees of Aries and Aquarius. The symbol for Aries 6 is a square with one of its sides brightly illumined. This is about focused energy. It's about taking all the scattered potential, all the different directions you could go, and focusing everything, your attention, your will, your resources, on one single point. That's when breakthrough happens. Not when you're trying to do everything at once, but when you pour everything into one thing. The symbol for Aquarius 6 is a performer of a mystery play. This speaks to initiation, to stepping into a role that's bigger than your individual self, to becoming part of a larger story. It's the recognition that the transformation happening tomorrow isn't just personal, it's archetypal, collective, evolutionary. When you combine these symbols, the message is clear. Tomorrow, you focus your power on one specific area of your material reality, and in doing so, you step into a role within the collective human story that only you can play. You stop scattering your energy. You stop trying to be everything to everyone, and you become the one thing you were always meant to be. This is not a drill. Let's be clear about what's at stake here. April 2026 is not a normal month. 7 planets in Aries, no planets in retrograde, the outer planets shifting into entirely new signs, reshaping the entire generational landscape. This is one of the most concentrated, volatile, and transformative periods of the entire century. And tomorrow, April 16th, is the absolute peak of that energy. The Mars-Pluto portal is the moment when all the pressure, all the build-up, all the cosmic tension reaches critical mass and becomes accessible power. Most people will feel the intensity and not know what to do with it. They'll feel restless, agitated, maybe even aggressive, but they won't understand why. They'll make impulsive decisions, burn bridges they didn't mean to burn, or freeze up completely because the energy feels too overwhelming. But you're not most people. You're here reading this because something inside you recognized the significance of this moment before you even consciously understood it. You've been feeling the build, you've been sensing the shift, and now you know exactly what to do with it. Tomorrow is your day to win, not in competition with anyone else, but in alignment with your own destiny. You win the battle inside your mind, you win the breakthrough in your material world, and you win your freedom to be fully, unapologetically yourself while still contributing something meaningful to the collective. This is the kind of victory that doesn't fade when the energy passes. This is the kind of victory that becomes the foundation for everything that comes next. The cosmic clock is ticking. And here's the final piece you need to understand. This portal won't stay open forever. The Mars-Pluto sextile perfects at 2:50 p.m. UTC tomorrow. That's the moment of peak alignment. But the energy is strongest in the 12 hours before and after that exact time. This means tomorrow morning you wake up in the portal. By tomorrow night, the Mercury-Neptune conjunction floods your mind with visionary clarity. And by the next morning, the new moon seals everything into place. You have one rotation of the Earth to harness this, one day to make the move you've been putting off, one day to claim the power you've been denying, one day to step through the threshold and become the version of yourself that's been waiting on the other side. The universe doesn't hand out opportunities like this casually. When 7 planets crowd into one sign, when Mars meets Pluto in perfect harmony, when the sun illuminates your deepest wound right before a cosmic reset, this is orchestrated. This is intentional. This is your moment. And the question isn't whether the power is available. The power is there. The portal is open. The question is, will you walk through it? Because on April 20th, the energy shifts again. The sun moves into Taurus. The momentum slows. The window closes. And you'll either be standing on the other side, victorious, transformed, and unrecognizable from who you were just days before, or you'll be stuck in the same place wondering what might have been if you'd just had the courage to act. Tomorrow, April 16th, 2026, is your line in the sand. It's your cosmic initiation. It's your permission slip to finally step into the power that's always been yours. Don't waste it. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.